And gentlemen, boys and girls, Children of Voyages on YouTube, Facebook, The House of Nerdom, Han Sports Channel 68, where we bring sports and nerds together like one big happy family. Until we give the losers the Cleveland Brown tickets, because then, well, we hate you. And of course, everyone at TLC, The Last Call. It is the DOUG here once again, finally back and done and moving. Can do what I do best, picks using Madden. Of course, I am not alone, as I have a tag team partner this week, Mr. Brandon. How you doing today? I'm doing good. I'm happy the move's done. Last week, as you guys know, you actually had to see my beautiful mug. So if I made any women faint, you're welcome. If any men became jealous of my looks, well, just think you got laid because of my face, because your woman got hot. Anyway, yes, I am egotistical. Let's go over what happened last week in case you need a recap. No notes this week too much, so there's that. The Cowboys beat the Vikings, Chiefs beat the Falcons, Lions beat the Saints, Patriots beat the Rams, Broncos beat the Jaguars, Packers beat the Texans, the Eagles lost to the Bengals, so that was my first loss this past week. Ravens beat the Dolphins, the Bears beat the 49ers, apparently Colin Kaepernick got benched as I heard correctly. So that made me laugh. Raiders beat the Bills. The Steelers beat the Giants. Sorry about that, Brandon. The Redskins lost to the Cardinals, which gave me my second loss, but it did give Dallas a playoff berth, so Dallas is automatically in the playoffs. Buccaneers beat the Chargers. The Seahawks beat the Panthers. And the Colts pretty much embarrassed the Jets. Ladies and gentlemen, if you're watching that Monday night game, because I saw the recap of it Tuesday morning, that is what we describe as tanking in football. If you're the Jets, so I went 13-2 last week, and for the season I'm 120 in wins, 70 in losses, and those two stupid fucking ties. All right, before we get to the playoff picture, I got some shout outs this week. I'd like to give a shout out to a good friend of mine, Ann, Captain Ron, who is the main man of the TLC network, Brad, who's a Ravens fan, Mr. Clark, who is a Dolphins fan. I'm sure he's upset, but he knows he's still alive in the playoff hunt. Rockin' Reese, my boy from Philly, my mom, because the Ravens are happy, Mr. Turner, Saints are not doing well, Travis, shout out to you as well, because your Packers are doing pretty good, Andrew, aka the Ghost of Test, because your Steelers are still alive, and of course, shout out to my boy Mario Gray, who is also a Cowboys fan. There'll be more shout outs next week when I actually can, write more down. Alright, let's get to these playoff pictures, shall we? Should we start with the AFC or NFC, Brandon?
Let's do with the worst teams that's possible.
So, we're going to jump to the AFC. Alright, AFC goes as followed. The number one seed right now is the Oakland Raiders. If they win out, they will have home field advantage in the AFC. The Patriots are the number 2 seed right now at 10-2. They have to win out and hope the Raiders lose at least one game to take the number 1 seed. Patriots can actually win the division this week with a win or a loss by the Dolphins. Win and a loss by the Dolphins, I should say. So if the Patriots win and the Dolphins lose, Patriots will lock up the division. And just to give everyone a quick heads up, the Dolphins play the Cardinals, and the Patriots play on Monday night against the Ravens. So keep that in mind for fans of U.S. teams. The Ravens are the 3rd seed right now at 7-5. The Texans are the 4th seed because they're on a 3-way tie with the Titans and Colts at 6-6. There's the worst division. No one else is going to be the number 4 seed at this point. It's either going to be the Texans, the Titans, or the Colts. So, my question of the video is this. Out of those 3 teams, who makes the playoffs? Texans, Titans, or Colts? Leave your answer in the comment section below, and if anyone answers, I will give you a shout out next week. Brandon, who do you think is going to win that division? Texans, Colts, or Titans? Because they all got the same record. And I will go to the team schedule right now. Again, this is what's good about Madden. I can just do this and don't need, be on the computer. The the Colts' schedule is as follows. They play the Texans this week, then at the Vikings, at the Raiders, and then end the season with the Jaguars. The Texans at the Colts, then they go to then they're at home for Jacksonville and at home against the Bengals, but they end the season at Tennessee. And then, of course, the Titans, they play the Broncos this week, then they're at Kansas City, then they're at Jacksonville, and then they end the year at home against the Texans. So, I'll ask this question again. Out of those three, who do you have?
Well, the Texans, I don't think have J.J. Watt right now, do they?
No, he's been out. He got put out for the season because of his back.
Well, the Titans been on a okay winning streak, even though they haven't really putting up a lot of numbers. I'm gonna have to go with the freaking Titans, to be honest.
Titans. I originally did have the Colts winning that division, but I'm going to agree with you, and here's why. Why, yes, the Titans' next two games are hard games against the Broncos and Chiefs. They'd be 6-8. But look at the last two games. At Jacksonville, which is a win, and the Texans. There is a very good possibility, because of how bad the Texans play, that the Texans could be finish the year at 8-8. And same with the Colts as well. There is a chance we're going to see an 8-8 team in the playoffs on the AFC side. I think if I was having to base my percentage, I think Titans will probably have the best, easier games because of their last two. I think then the next team who has the best shot is the Texans. Just because of the fact of, if you look at their schedule again, they play Jacksonville and then Bengals, and so those at home, so those should be two easy wins. So, and Week 17 could be the game that matters for the Texans and Titans. As for the Colts, we know I love Andrew Luck, and like I said, they're my pick before the season started. But when your next two games after this week are at Minnesota and then at Oakland, I don't have that much faith in you. The only way I can see the Colts winning that division is if they beat the Texans this week, somehow either beat the Vikings or the Raiders, and then beat Jacksonville. I think they would have to go 9-7, in my humble opinion. But yeah, there's the question of the video, guys. If you answer it, cool, and I'll give you a shout out. As far as for the wildcard teams in the AFC, the Chiefs are at 9-3 right now, and they can actually still win the division if they beat the Raiders and then win out. And remember, they do play against each other this Thursday night. And then the Broncos sit at the 6th seed at 8-4. As far as for the teams still in the hunt, the Dolphins and Steelers are still in the hunt for the wild card right now, as they are both 7-5. Bills are 6-6 and can still make it, but they need help. And the Titans and Colts, they're at 6-6. Most likely, they're only getting in if they win the division. And I gotta say this right now, it looks like you could actually see some of these teams be eliminated this week, because if the Broncos win the next two games, and the Chiefs win at least one more game, depending on what happens with the Bills, pretty much what I'm saying is this, guys. If the Bills lose one more game, they will probably be out, depending on what happens with Kansas City and Denver. If Kansas City wins this week, that'll pretty much only leave the 6th seed open, pretty much. And Broncos need just 2 wins to at least eliminate the Bills. Bills, if they lose one game, and Chiefs and Broncos hit 10 wins, Bills are eliminated. Titans and Colts, like I said, they can only make it at this point in the division. Dolphins and Steelers, they can still get in, but they need help. Dolphins will be trying to get the wild card spot. Steelers can still win the division and take it from Baltimore. So keep that in mind. And now we're going to jump to the NFC, which that's the most important one for me and Brandon, because he's a Giants fan, I think, still. And I'm a Cowboys fan, as we know. Of course, the Cowboys are 11-1 right now. They are the only team to clinch a playoff berth, thanks to some help this past week with the Steelers and Cardinals. Seahawks are the number 2 seed right now at 8-3-1. The Lions are the 3rd seed at 8-4. The Falcons are the 4th seed at 7-5. The Giants are the 5th seed at 8-4. And the Bucs, yes, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, the team that no one thought this would happen, control their own destiny at the 6th seed at 7-5. The other teams still in the hunt in the NFC, the Redskins 6-5-1, Packers at 6-6, same with the Vikings 6-6, and the Cardinals, thanks to the win, has given them hope as they are 5-6-1, and they can steal a playoff spot if they win out and everybody else in front of them from the Vikes, Packers, Redskins, and Bucks died. And that's pretty much the nicest way I can put it.
Well, it is the interesting factor. Since we have a new, head coach and everything, this is our first time a new head coach to actually go if we can get into the playoffs.
Correct. The NFC actually looks kind of interesting because the Giants are trying to get to the playoffs with a rookie head coach. The Cowboys, they're already in the playoffs with 2 rookie starters, rookie quarterback and rookie running back. But I think the most surprising thing is Tampa Bay, though. I don't think anybody expected Tampa Bay to be here. Same with Detroit. Well, what I mean is, remember, they don't have Megatron anymore. He retired. So they're pretty much doing it with Matthew Stafford and a bunch of nobodies. And you must be sitting next to your fan, I guess. Okay, because you started to sound like a robot there for a minute. Yeah. Alright, so let's get to these games for this week. First one is the Thursday night game, Raiders at Kansas City. If Raiders win this game, they pretty much will have an easy time to lock up the division. If they also win this game, I believe they lock up a playoff spot as well, and can still hold the first seed in the AFC. If the Chiefs win, the Chiefs will shake things up in the AFC. Now, note, the Raiders are a great road team. They have not lost a road game this year. That's pretty damn good. So, does David Carr continue showing why he should be the MVP of the league this year, or does Kansas City get a big, much-needed win at home and probably give them a chance to win their division? Yes, it is. They have only lost 2 games. Unclear enough, one of them was to Kansas City, but since that loss, they went on a 6-game win streak. They're 9-3. They did win this past week against Atlanta, though. I think that was because of some laser points. I'm going with the Raiders as well. They're just a better road team. It seems like, they're undefeated on the road, so maybe, and I'm sure the Raider fans may say I'm insane, but I think they may want to lose one game just so they can be on the road if they have to go in the AFC title game, if they have to go to New England, because they haven't lost a game on the road. I'm just saying. I forget that as well. Alright, moving on to the next game. The Steelers take on the Bills. Going with the Bills. I'm going with the Steelers on this one. I just feel the Steelers are the better team. Buffalo really needs some help to get into the playoffs. I love the Buffalo Bills defense, but it's that offense I question. I don't like the offense. So I got Steelers and you got the Bills. Moving on, it's the Denver Broncos at Tennessee. I'm taking Denver. I'm sorry. Tennessee doesn't have a defense that can match up against Denver. Denver's defense should have a nice time. Alright, to a game that's actually kind of interesting. New Orleans Saints at Tampa Bay. This one's a hard one for me. I actually had a hard time making this pick, actually. Tampa Bay at the New Orleans Saints at Tampa Bay. Buccaneers and Saints. I am the same way. I'm sorry, Mr. Turner, but I'm going with the Buccaneers over the Saints. Moving on, and it's a game that kind of affects us both. Eagles at home take on the Redskins. If the Redskins lose this game, that could pretty much put a nail in the coffin for their hopes at getting a wild card spot, depending what happens with everybody else. Eagles need this game just to somehow keep any hope of life support on for a playoff hunt. So, who do we want to see win this game?
I mean, Eagles did just lose their game.
Against Cincinnati, and then of course Arizona beat up the Redskins.
Man, Wentz is not a bad quarterback. I will admit, he's faster.
And the Eagles are better at home than they're on the road, and I'm honest, this was another hard pick for me because I had a hard time.
And, you know, like I said, Eagles got some good players, but they don't know how to use them in ways. They got a good running game, I will say that.
They do, remember, they got a rookie head coach as well, but he's proven the old adage as rookie head coaches ain't supposed to be good during the first year or so.
And then the Redskins, they really have decided on the
Redskins, he hasn't, wait, whoa. Auntie hasn't been on the Redskins and he hasn't been on the Redskins. He's in Cleveland. You're thinking Kirk Cousins.
Thank you, Kirk Cousins. Sorry. I mean, they did beat us as well. So, I think they lost the Eagles too.
I don't know.
No, we beat the Eagles, but you know what? Fuck the Redskins. I'm going with the Eagles.
I'm going with the Eagles as well. Next game, it is the Arizona Cardinals traveling to Miami to take on the Dolphins. Cardinals coming off a big win to keep the hopes alive. Dolphins coming off a loss that kind of hurts them in the playoff hunt. So, does Miami bounce back after looking so great the last few weeks? Or does Arizona keep this momentum going and finding a way to get into the playoffs?
Miami versus what team?
Arizona. It wasn't that tough for me. I got Miami.
I'm going Arizona.
Fuck you.
I'm sorry, Palmer's a little bit better than Mike.
Yeah, I know Carson Palmer's better, but Arizona's disappointed me this year. I had them in the Super Bowl, and they've disappointed me, so they can go F off. Speaking of a game that no one cares about, San Diego Chargers take on the Panthers. This game really doesn't mean nothing, I think, to most of us. I got the Panthers just because I don't care.
I'm going with San Diego to set up the fun.
Yeah, pretty much. Next, my upset pick of the week. Cincinnati Bengals travel to Cleveland. I am doing the unthinkable. I am taking the Cleveland Browns, yes, the Cleveland damn Browns, to beat the Bengals.
I'll go with Bengals on this.
This is my upset pick. If I get this right, it will prove I am a super genius, and you all need to bow down to me. If I get it wrong, I still have one more game where I can pick Cleveland to get the upset win, and that's against San Diego. Moving on, Bears versus Lions. It's in Detroit. I got the Lions. Bears are just a terrible team.
I'll go with the Bears.
Wow, you're picking the terrible team. Okay.
The Bears aren't too bad. Believe it or not, they were in the playoffs too, believe it or not. They were.
Yeah, in week 3.
Yeah, exactly.
Damn it, that was the last time they won the playoff hunt. We're now in week 14.
But still, I mean, they beat the Lions. Hey, there's something right there to talk about.
If they beat the Lions, and the Lions are in trouble. Texans at the Colts. We talked about this game a little bit ago. This is a very important game. I have the Colts.
I want to say the Texans. I mean, yeah, Brandon left the open for a waiver corner. So, I mean, they are out for one. So, yeah, I'm going to go with the Texans.
Alright. Moving on, we had the Vikings at Jacksonville. Vikings.
Jacksonville.
Are you on crack?
No, I am being serious. Jacksonville.
Is terrible.
No, listen though.
They're terrible.
Yeah, but Sam Bradford hasn't been doing shit.
At least he's got an excuse. The O-line sucks for the Vikings. What's the Jacksonville Jaguars' excuse? They got to... Let's be honest. The last time the Jacksonville Jaguars were any good was when Jack Del Rio was there. That was the last time they had any competence. I don't think Tom Coughlin would want to go back. Are you hearing any static or anything at your end? Okay, because every time you talk, it sounds like you're a robot or static or something. It could be. Either that or you got a fan on or something. Oh, it's your headset. That's a piece of crap. Moving on. Jets and 49ers. Yeah. I'm taking the Jets. I say this because who's the 49ers quarterback this week? Does anyone know? So, I'm taking the Jets. Sorry. Falcons take on the Rams.
I'm going with the Rams.
Wow, we should just call all your picks upset specials, because that's all you're doing. You're going like for every fucking upset team. I'm going with the Falcons. Rams are just a terrible team. Falcons are in a playoff position. Rams are in nothing. Falcons could still get, even if Falcons lose, they can still get in. Rams win, guess what? They still ain't getting in. That's how bad their team is. Remember though, Jeff Fisher's plan. He's gonna make them great again by just going 8-8 every season. That's his master plan, everybody. And this is a Rams team that extended Jeff Fisher's coaching contract. What the fuck has Jeff Fisher done? And ever. The last time he was any good of a coach was when he took the Titans to the Super Bowl and they choked. That was the last time and the amazing thing is, he's going to set the record probably this year for the most losses by a head coach in NFL history. So congratulations. You're going to be infamous, but not in the good way. You're going to be remembered as like Superman 64 and Shaq Fu. Terrible. Seahawks at Packers. I'm going with the Seahawks. Sorry, Travis. We already know who you're going for this game. Cowboys at Giants. Cowboys, of course. And then, of course, it is the Ravens at the Patriots. Ravens need this win to to hold that tiebreaker with the Steelers. Patriots need this win and a Dolphins loss to lock up the division. And as much as I want to pick the Ravens, so I really do, I got to go with the Patriots. You know they're missing Rob Kozlowski. They still got Tom Brady. Granted, I do feel that the Ravens can still win this game. Patriots' biggest problem on defense is they don't run the ball. They're terrible at stopping the run game on defense. If the Ravens can find a way to get the run game going, they will win this game. And their defense for Baltimore has actually played pretty good this year. So just as a recap, I have the Raiders, Steelers, Broncos, Eagles, Dolphins, Panthers, Browns, yes, the Browns, Lions, Colts, Vikings, Jets, Buccaneers, Falcons, Seahawks, Cowboys, and Patriots getting a win this week. And join me next time when I get back to doing more Let's Plays. Brandon, of course, will probably be here next week to either rub it in my face that the Giants won, or he will not be here next week because he may not want to talk to anybody because the Giants lost.
Let's put it this way, the Steelers got lucky because I don't know what the fuck was going on with our defense and blamed that on them, so...
Blame the defense, I love that. And better words, children, they can't get their act together. Oh. Until next time, boys and girls, have a great week. Good luck to your teams if they're in the hunt. And if they're not, remember, the Jets and 49ers is going to be called the Tank Bowl, because one of those two want to get the number 2 draft pick, because Cleveland's getting number 1.
I'm gonna also throw this in there. If you're also a Rangers fan, fuck you on that. That's hockey for you.
Wait, you live in New York. Shouldn't you be a Rangers fan?
No, I am an Islanders fan.
Okay, that's the end of the video, folks. Islanders fans don't exist, you know that.
Yes, they do. What?
They're not